Wait, there's still one in there? But I thought we went through all the movies. What could it... No. You kept the copy. But I won't fall to become your victim. I'll review this movie, even if it kills me. Hello YouTube, I'm Dapie45 and welcome to my channel. Sorry I have to be really quiet right now, but I'm hiding in my closet right now because I have to hide from Ditto because it's trying to make me watch Cars 2. And I've heard all the bad stories about it and what it can do to people when you watch it. It can make you go crazy. So I'm just trying to lay low and hopefully Ditto forgets about it and I can just hide out here for as long as I need to. What was that? Run! I gotta get out of here. I gotta... That's impossible. How... No. No. It looks like I have no other choice. I know what I must do to end this terror. I have to watch Cars 2 and do a review on it. I tried to get away from it once, but no matter how hard I try, it always tends to find me. Both this and Ditto. So I must watch it and review it in order to fully be safe. How could they let this happen? I can't review this. I won't review this. I refuse to review this movie, and you can make me. Fine, I'll review it. Let's get this over with. In this movie, Mater is a spy and Lightning McQueen races around the world. That's all this movie deserves as a recap. This is straight up just a bad movie. I'm not gonna even try to sugarcoat it and say, oh, it's an okay movie. No, it's bad. So as you probably can tell, I do have some strong feelings about this movie. That is because it's such an odd entry in the Cars series. When you compare it to the first and third Cars movies, those are purely about racing. And while this movie does have racing, where Lightning McQueen does race around the world, it's mostly just a spy movie about Mater and these two new cars that are also spies. This movie seemed like it was meant to be one of those beta shorts called Mater's Tall Tales, where it was just like these short stories of Mater going on these adventures. And of course, this would have fit as one of those Tall Tale shorts. However, they decided to make an idea that would have been good for a short and made it a whole feature-length film. And of course, this movie focuses around Mater, and as I said in my previous Cars reviews, Mater is my least favorite character in these movies. And the source of my dislike for Mater is from this movie, because he used so much, and he's not meant to be a main character, but he is a main character in this movie, but he was never meant to be one. It was always Lightning McQueen in that first movie to race, and it was all about him, and Mater was just that jokey character that was on the side, like, oh yeah, he's there, he's the dumb friend. However, they were like, hey, let's make a movie about this guy, and they put him on the cover and made all about him. Now, I'm going to get into some spoilers in this video, because I do have some things to say about this movie and like how it goes, so you've been warned. Now, Lightning McQueen is a great main character in the first Cars movie, because he's just this race car that just wants to go fast and win races. And he just wants to win the Piston Cup, that's his only goal. So when he gets Radiator Springs, he learns to take life slow and that winning is not all that's like to work for in life. He learns a lesson in that movie. In this movie, Mater doesn't. Like, the only lesson that he's supposed to be faced with, like the challenge, is that he's very loud and annoying and that he's a burden to his friends. but he doesn't really learn much from that. He's still his same self by the end of the movie. And he does change in this movie to be a little more into his brain and kind of figure things out when he figures out who the bad guy is. But right after that, he just goes back to his normal self, and it's just the same old Mater. And like I said before, Mater works as a side character. That's what he was made to be. Just that kind of dumb friend that was there, made jokes every once in a while, but he didn't play the main character role. And he works in those Mater Tall Tale shorts that I mentioned. If you watch those, it works because those are just based off of comedy, like dumb situational comedy. It's not a full-length story. They didn't make it a full-length feature film of just Mater. It's just these little shorts about his misadventures, and Lightning McQueen appears in them too. And that's why Mater works in the other two movies, because he's just there, and he's just there to support Lightning McQueen and to be his friend. And of course, all the new cars that are introduced in this movie are completely forgettable. The only one that's kind of memorable is Finn McMissile, which is the main spy. But other than that, they're not memorable. They're just there. It's just a regular spy movie. It could be, okay, this did not have to be made from Cars. It could have just been a normal spy movie. The fact that they're Cars plays no role into it other than the race itself. But other than that, that's not the main story. The main story is Mater is a spy. And there's no need for them to be Cars for this story. Because if you've seen any spy movie, you basically know the story of this movie. So that there's a bad organization, a mystery head of this, and then these spies have to figure out who's behind all these mishaps and these bad deeds, and then they figure it out in the end. That's it. It's a normal spy movie. Did not need to be a Cars movie. And of course, I did mention the new characters, how they were forgettable. But what about the old characters? Now, they do all make an appearance in this movie, but they serve no purpose. They're sort of there so that you know, hey, they're still here, but they don't really play too much in the bigger story. Because, of course, you got Mater, who's the main character, and then Lightning, who he isn't the main character in this movie, he's more of a secondary character, but he's still there. And then you do have Lightning's pit crew, who don't really, even though they are some of the original cars from the first movie, they don't really play a role. They kind of do as the story goes, like how the sergeant replaces Lightning McQueen's fuel for one portion, and then Luigi and I forget what the other car's name, that's Italian, they go to Italy so that they could stay in the village where they're from. But outside of that, they serve no other purpose, and then the other cars just stay at home until the very end, where they come and help Mater and Lightning beat the bad car spies. Of course, all the other cars like Sally, Mater, Luigi, all the ones that are from Radiator Springs, I loved how they were in Cars 1. You got to see their personalities. Of course, the spotlight wasn't always on them, but you just saw how they were, and they were really great characters. But in this movie, they're just sort of there, so you know that they're there. They don't really have much role in this movie, which I didn't really like. And of course, the actor for Doc Hudson did die before the making of this movie. And they did try to honor him a little bit by saying they renamed the Piston Cup for the Doc Hudson Piston Cup or something like that. And while they do try to honor the actor and the character of Doc Hudson in this movie, it's not done as well as it is in Cars 3, where they do a proper honoring, and it's just more throughout the whole movie where they honor the character and the actor, as opposed to this, where it's only in the beginning and they just sort of forget about it and more focus on the story that's at hand. But of course, I don't know the exact timeline of when the actor did die and when this movie was being made and released. However, it's just, in my opinion, Cars 3 did a better way of memorializing him and remembering the character of Doc Hudson, but also the actor. But this movie just isn't my favorite, as you can tell. I do have a lot of problems with it. You can clearly tell that this was purely for money, because for some of you who don't know, the Cars series of merchandise is the one that sells the best for Disney, or for Pixar movies, I should say. Because, well, of course, Toy Story, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, they all sell their own merchandise and they do pretty well. The Cars series is the ones that do the best out of all. And of course, from a business point of view, it's a no-brainer to make a sequel to the first Cars movie. However, they tried so hard by making it a spy movie to appeal to kids more, and by making Mater the main character, that the Cars movie, the second Cars movie I should say, loses its charm that it had in the first Cars movie. So even though I have a lot of bad things to say about this movie, the good things I do have to say about it is that it has really great animation. Pixar knocks out of the park by doing really great looking cars, and the metal looks really shiny. I really like all of it. And then the actors, they all do pretty great in their roles. They're talented. Of course, the writing's not the best, but the actors themselves, they do pretty well for what they're given. And the music in this movie, it can be, if there's some good music in it, I would say so. However, there's just like occasionally where I'm like, okay, that's not the best music, but I'll give it a pass. So I give this movie my final rating of 2.5 out of 10. It's a bad movie. If you haven't seen it, don't bother watching it. And even if you're interested in the Cars series, this movie has pretty much no effect on all the other Cars movies. You can just watch Cars 1 and Cars 3 and just skip the second one altogether and you would not miss anything. Of course, they'll say that it's a movie that they did when stating all the movies that they've done in the past. However, just in Cars 3, there's no reference in it whatsoever. And I just thought that was pretty interesting, and it makes sense why they wouldn't want to reference it in that movie. Because they did say some references to the first movie, of course referencing Doc Hudson, and with the car, I forget what the rival to Lightning McQueen was in the first movie, but he appears in it saying how he won the Piston Cup. And there's obvious reference to that first Cars movie in the third one, but the second one was the one that they just tried to forget about pretty much. Well, there you have it. I finished reviewing this piece of trash right here, so now I have to take care of something. I did your review, and I watched your movie. Now you gotta stop terrorizing me. I think I got Ditto. I think I'm able to overpower. Oh, what the? Oh no, no, no. This can't be how I go. This can't be it. It just. Wait a minute. Of course. I got it. Well, Ditto, I did what you wanted me to. I watched the movie and I reviewed it, and you still tried to kill me. And Ditto, you may think you've won, but guess what? You've just been bested. Well, I did it. Ditto's Reign of Terror is come to an end now. And also, I finished reviewing every single Pixar movie. And thank you guys so much for coming along with me through this journey. Of course, going through every Pixar movie. I did take a break with Goodfellas in the middle of it. But of course, I went to every Pixar movie. And I've grown so much. Doing the skits before my videos has been really great. And I just really appreciative for you guys coming and watching my videos. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you guys like this one. Of course, this isn't the end of my movie reviews. I'll keep going. I just finished with all the Pixar movies, and of course this won't be the last Pixar movie I review, because that new movie Soul that's coming out, it's supposed to come out in November, but that could be pushed back because of what's going on in the world right now. But for right now it's November, so hopefully that stays there so that I could do it and do a review for you guys. And I'm gonna let you guys vote for which series to do next, whether it be Marvel Cinematic Universe movies or Disney Princess movies. I did a poll on my Instagram, and they did vote accordingly for Marvel and Princess. So I'm gonna leave it up to you guys also, and I'll add whatever votes you guys put on it to the Instagram poll results, because those poll results were actually pretty close. And of course, you guys are the ones that watch the video, so I want the people who don't follow my Instagram but follow me on YouTube to vote too. So just let me know if you want to do MCU movies or Princess movies, and then I'll count up all the scores, see which one does better, and then I'll review that series. But before I do that, I will be doing different random videos, so feel free to suggest to me what other movies you want me to review. So it doesn't have to be Disney either. It could be Universal, Warner Brothers, anything. I'll review whatever you guys want to suggest to me and whatever I feel like doing. So just comment down below what you'd like to see me review next. And please like, subscribe, and comment. Of course, let me know what you'd like to see on the channel next. And thank you so much for joining me on this journey. It means so much to me. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.